Realising that I was gay in the 60s in Sydney in a high school on the North Shore was quite a frightening experience because everything around me told me that this was wrong. I was growing up in an era when, there was no understanding really about homosexuality or sexual orientation. It wasn't just religion, it was society because it was a criminal offence. It was a scary thought to realise that I could be a criminal. If I was caught, people would try and kill me with electric shocks or some sort of aversion therapy. In those days, the only place you could meet other guys would be at what would be called a beat. All my sexual encounters were always very brief. There was no intimacy, there was no warmth, there was no tenderness. You wouldn't even exchange names. So there was never anything that I perhaps to be really nice about my sexuality. I started to feel ashamed, and then I attempted suicide. And then it was about 12 months after that I thought, well, if anyone's going to be the answer, it's going to be God. I went to a church which would help me to change from being gay to being straight. So that program consisted of me doing things which were supposedly masculine chores, like anything outside the house. I was supposed to do like maintenance and fixing cars and manual work. I wasn't allowed to do anything inside the house, like cooking or preparing meals and like that, because that was woman's work. They went through my wardrobe. Anything pink was removed. You would have to be up early in the morning because they didn't think it was good for young men to stay in bed too long in case they masturbated. There would be someone standing by the shower to make sure that I didn't masturbate. They believed that my natural heterosexuality, which was down there, would start to surface, and after a year or 2 years, I would be straight. When I talked to the college principal, he said, well, you have demonic forces living inside you which are controlling you. Then they got special ministries to cast the evil spirits out of me. Praying was constant because every day you're still yourself. So every day you've got to try and keep yourself pure, not think anything about that would be gay or that would be the devil trying to defeat you. It's soul destroying. When I left that after 6 months, I ended up preaching regularly in Australia's mega churches. There's thousands every weekend, and that's when I met the woman who would become my wife. I got married, and I had a couple of kids, beautiful daughters. And I loved being a husband, and I loved being a father. I loved all those things. But all the time, in the background, I was still struggling. Just before I turned 40, I met a guy in Brisbane, and through that encounter, I experienced something emotional, and that caused me to really evaluate. It wasn't about sex, it was about love. I thought, my God, I've spent 22 years trying to change this, and here I'm falling in love with a guy. And it was at that point I knew I could no longer preach anymore. And so I resigned from the ministry and did a public confession in front of hundreds of people. That was not about being empowered, that was not about being proud. That was about repentance and confession. Something died inside me that day. And I walked away from everything, my faith, the church, the marriage, my friends, everything, to live as an openly gay man, but believing that I will probably still go to hell. And then after about 6 years, I had this very spiritual experience where I realized that there were things that were very real to me previously in my Christian faith, which could still be real to me today. And I realized that the scriptures that I had believed for so many years were talking about my homosexuality, were actually talking about idolatry, talking about rape, were talking about things that were certainly not a part of my life. And I found real peace and resolution in my faith and in my sexuality, and I've now been living as an openly gay, resolved man and helping others to find that resolution for 20 years now, over 20 years. The majority of the organisations have closed down now. But having said that, the ones that are left, yes, you can be gay, but you can never act on it. You can never fall in love or have a relationship. We've got a long way to go. We see some encouraging signs and some progress, but we've got a long way to go.